Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look at race number 8 at the Big A on Saturday. It's the second of 2 stakes races on the program. This is for the fillies and mares going a mile and an eighth. It's the Ladies Stakes. Let's take a peek. A pretty solid group, Mike. You've got a 6-horse field, but no strong standout. Saddle Up Jessie, up from the Mid-Atlantic for the husband-wife team of Sheldon Russell, Brittany Russell. Brittany, of course, the leading trainer in Maryland in all of 2023. And Saddle Up Jessie has really put it together in her last 2 races.
Ships up on a roll here. She's coming off of a stakes win. Nobody else in this field's got one of those, Dan, unless you're counting Know It All Audrey's victory over Statebreds a couple of starts ago. It just feels like they've shipped her up here and found a really good spot.
Speaking of Know It All Audrey, she's back on short notice, and she's getting back out to her best distance. That's a mile and an eighth, and she has speed in the rail as we throw up our Timeform US pace projector. Know It All Audrey is far from a burner, but I won't be surprised if Jose Lezcano decides to take advantage of the inside and go to the front. She's Mo Bobley, the 4, the 3, Rhea Valentine, the 5, Comparative. These are horses that are tactical as well, and Saddle Up Jessie is far from a slow horse.
True enough. I mean, I thought Saddle Up Jessie could get forward in here and get the right trip. Certainly, she's Mo Bubbly. Will try to be up close in this race. Even the 3, Dan, Rhea Valentine. You tell me this horse isn't going to be trying to go forward in this race? I thought she would be on the lead. But maybe Know It All Audrey just secures the rail from the start.
All 7 of Know It All Audrey's lifetime victories have come at Aqueduct, and she's back for more after running last time out in the Bay Ridge. It was a 1-turn mile, Mike, and she just didn't have her usual early speed. She sort of settled off the pace, was one-paced around, and maybe just getting back to a mile and an eighth is what works for her. She did look pretty good winning the Empire Distaff 2-back.
Yeah, I mean, listen, generally speaking, Know It All Audrey's not the kind of horse you want to be betting in real stakes races, Dan. But the stakes program in New York isn't what it used to be the last couple of years, and she's just underrated. I don't expect her to win this race, but she's going to be a fair price. She can get a good trip in here, and she always shows up.
Evidencias is the number 2, and extra distance will be no problem for this mare, who began her career in her native Brazil as a Group 1 winner on turf, as a Group 2 winner on dirt. The latter race coming at a mile and a quarter. And here's her North American dirt debut, second start in the States, open allowance going a 1-turn mile. And this is a race where it's a slow pace. The horse on the lead takes them all the way. Evidencias lost some ground, Mike, and is still charging in the stretch. And the winner, Hot Fudge, came right back to win the Garland of Roses with an 87. So there are things to like.
It's a pretty good horse that wins this race right on the front end. And Evidencias did all the things that you mentioned are true, Dan. She's clearly second best in here. I just didn't know what to do with this horse. I don't know how good she is. My first thought about that race that we just watched right there is, all right, she ran fine, but she didn't run great, and I wouldn't be looking for her to come back in a stakes race where I would love her at some kind of short price. But I guess if they're going to bump her up in class and stretch her back out, they found the right spot to do it. There are no killers in here.
Rhea Valentine is the number 3, stepping way up in class off a maiden victory. This going a 1-turn mile for trainer Chad Summers. Got close up to a moderate pace, is on the outside, and is just too much for him in the final 3/16 of a mile. This horse, you get the feeling, is still learning, Mike. And by the way she goes, kind of a grinder. I think a mile and an eighth will be okay, but it is a pretty big steep hike up in class.
Yeah, it's a real question. This, I think, is a real question. This is a good performance. She, once again, doesn't change leads in the stretch, and that's been a little bit of an issue for her. And the other issue, and I guess there are ways to mitigate the start 2-back. They stretched her out to this distance 2-back, Dan. She did get caught wide around the first turn where she couldn't make the lead. So maybe there's an excuse there, sort of a wide trip around the track there. But man, she did not finish well in that race. And it made me feel like 9 furlongs might not help her.
The connections have mostly raced the number 4, She's Mo Bubbly, on the turf, but she's now won 2 in a row on the dirt, 1 in an off-turf heat. But this race at Aqueduct last time out, a first-level allowance going a mile and an eighth. She was able to stay close to the pace. On the turn, I really thought she was going to win by open length. She seemed to be traveling that much better than the favorite down on the rail. She ends up gutting it out.
We had the same opinion of this race, that it looked like she was going to win easier than she ultimately does, but she gets the job done. And there really isn't a point, I didn't think anyway, late in the race where it felt like she wasn't going to get it done. I just thought she'd do it maybe a little bit easier. If nothing else, she's bred to be a dirt horse. She's a way better dirt horse. distance is no issue for her, and she's going to get the right trip in here.
I like what Brad Cox did with the 5 comparative. She won a couple of races. They threw her up into the Black-Eyed Susan. It just didn't work out for her, and they gave her plenty of time to mature. And she came back late in her 3-year-old season with a very nice win, first time against older horses in a second-level allowance. This looked like a pretty legitimate pace, 22-4, 45 and change. Comparative was up close to it throughout off the layoff, and despite drifting out on the stretch, she's going to get clear late.
Yeah, she is. The pace was legitimate, but she's really struggling here to get by a 40-1 shot on the lead there. That horse, the 3 was up there with her the entire way. She's a huge price. Comparative does finally get it done, but I don't know. Personally, I wasn't that impressed with that performance. I didn't like her on the way into the Black Susan. I didn't like her coming out of that race. And just because it's these connections and this kind of a short field, she's not going to be much price in here. I don't want this horse.
Saddle Up Jessie, the 6, kind of hinted she could be a stakes horse, at least in the Mid-Atlantic area with her win 2 starts back, where she made this 3-wide brush on the second turn to blow things open, and then just went about her merry way. And she was very good last time out as well in the Carousel. Not the strongest field in the world, and her tactical speed was key. It didn't appear like there was a lot of pace, but when Javian Toledo pushed the button, she opened up on this field and keeps on going despite popping back to her left lead when struck with the stick.
Yeah, I just like her recent races quite a bit, Dan. She's gotten really good for Brittany Russell. I mean, they claimed this horse for 20. She's 4 for 5 on dirt since the claim, and she just keeps getting better every time they send her out there. And she's just got a great running style for this race. I think she's going to get a really good trip tracking from the outside. Again, I just feel like they're shipping her in, and they found a great spot to run her in.
Let's take a look at our top selections. For the ladies, Mike, you're going with Saddle Up Jessie, razor sharp form, tactical speed, 2-1 on the morning line. I wouldn't go much less, but this is a kind of race where I think 2 or 3 horses could be the favorite.
I agree. She might be the favorite here, but I don't think she's going to get bet down, Dan. I think this is a good spot for I think we kind of looked at it the same way, though. I like 6-4 in here. They were really the only 2 horses I was considering on the win end.
Kendrick Carmouche can be a very aggressive rider, and I think he's going to send She's Mo Bubbly in here to try to grab the lead away from the 3 Rhea Valentine. If Rhea Valentine wants it, she can sit second. Yeah. And I think maybe she'll get a slight jump on some of the closers turning for home. I like the way she gutted it out last time at 1 1/8 miles. I'll go She's Mo Bubbly. Mike's going Saddle Up Jessie, and the ladies at the Big A on Saturday. Good luck.